If you found your way here, it's probably not by chance. There's a message we need to explore today, one that our sources say is meant for a very specific person, and that person might just be you. If what we talk about today resonates deep down, you're going to want to subscribe and stay connected because we're about to unpack a huge shift that is already happening. This is where it all starts. The core idea is that you're not just scrolling randomly. Your presence here, right now, is a sign of recognition. It's that feeling, the one that's deeper than thought, where your soul just knows something big is in the air. This isn't just another day. We're standing on a threshold. And if that question hits home, well, you are definitely not alone. Our sources are describing this feeling that so many are having right now, this sense of being stuck, or like you're walking through water. Maybe you feel this weird pressure you just can't explain, moments where nothing seems to move forward. But here's the thing, this isn't bad luck, it's actually something else entirely. So all that pressure, it's not a setback. It's what the sources are calling a divine stirring. It's a preparation. Like that deep, quiet stillness right before a thunderstorm. It's a period of adjustment behind the scenes, a time where you weren't forgotten or lost. No, you were being perfectly positioned for what's about to happen next. What we're really talking about here is what's being called a divine shift. It's a moment when all that stalled out energy finally starts to move again. It's like a key is finally turning in a lock that's been shut for a long, long time, activating a whole new timeline for you. But, and this is where it gets really interesting, this activation comes with a paradox. Yeah, as we dug into the messages from our sources, this really powerful tension started to emerge. We found two calls to action that seemed to completely contradict each other, both for this exact moment in time. Okay, so check this out. On one hand, you have this urgent message that your miracle timeline is kicking in. Right now, let's go. But on the other hand, there's this equally urgent warning to stay put, to be still, that your stillness is your greatest weapon. So what gives? How can both of these things be true at the same time? How can destiny be taking off if the instruction is don't move a muscle? Well, the answer, it turns out, isn't out there. It's in here. To solve this puzzle on the outside, we have to look at a battle happening on the inside. See, the real shift isn't about what you're doing out in the world. It's about who you're becoming on the inside. And this quote, wow, it just nails it, doesn't it? It explains that feeling of being disoriented perfectly. It's suggesting that your spirit is finally starting to reject a system it was never meant to be a part of. That feeling isn't confusion. It's your soul saying, I'm done. I'm not running toward the wrong finish line anymore. And this is all tied to a belief you might not even know you have. One of our sources gives this a name. They call it the performance agreement. It's that quiet, nagging voice in your head that says your value, your worth, is all tied up in what you can produce. It pretends to be discipline, but it's really rooted in this deep-seated idea that you have to struggle and strive and prove yourself worthy of a breakthrough. And you know where this usually starts? Way back, often in childhood, when love or acceptance first felt conditional. A kid's heart makes a quiet calculation. To be seen, to be loved, to be chosen, I have to be useful, I have to perform. And that pattern, that hustle, has been running the show ever since. But now, that entire cycle is designed to break. So the big question is, how do you break it? How do you get out of this exhausting agreement? Well, the sources actually lay out a really clear path to freedom, a way to step out of that old way of being and into something totally new. The whole process kicks off with that stillness we talked about. First, you just stop. Stop running, stop performing. You take your performance right out of the equation. And this forces you to face a really tough question. Are you still worthy when you're not producing anything? From there, you trace that feeling all the way back to its root, and then you replace it. You declare a new truth for yourself. My worth was never up for debate. This isn't just a mental shift, it fundamentally changes your energy source. Think about it like this. For so long, you've been running on adrenaline, that anxious, frantic, self-generated energy that always leads to burnout. But what you're being offered now is something different. It's anointing. It's described as a supernatural grace that flows from a place of being, not just doing. It doesn't drain you, it actually empowers you. And this is the fuel for the new timeline. And right here, this is where it all clicks. This is how we solve that paradox from earlier. See, the inner stillness isn't stopping the timeline from activating, it's the very key that turns the engine on.
When you finally let go, when you surrender the future you've been trying so hard to build with your own two hands, you create a space, a vacancy. And as one source beautifully puts it, heaven doesn't leave vacancies empty for long. Your stillness becomes this incredibly powerful act. It's the move that signals to the universe that you're ready, aligning your outer world with the massive shift you've made on the inside.
Okay, so what should you be looking for? What are the practical, real-world signs that this is happening? Well, keep your eyes open. You'll start to see synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences speeding up. Your intuition, that gut feeling, will get louder and clearer. Opportunities will start coming out of left field, and new people will walk into your life who just fit, who feel divinely aligned. When you boil it all down, the entire journey comes back to this one single powerful truth. The roadblock was never out there. It was your relationship with yourself, with who you are when the audience is gone and the lights are off. The breakthrough isn't about getting something you didn't have. It's about becoming who you already are, someone who knows their worth without needing anyone else to validate it. And so this is where we'll leave it. This is the final frontier. The real work is learning to just sit in the quiet and be okay with your own inherent worth. So what happens when you finally stop trying to earn your place and just exist in it? The message is that in that stillness, in that final surrender, you don't just find peace. You find the very beginning of everything you've been waiting for. What was promised, they say, isn't coming because you ran faster. It's arriving because you finally learned how to be still.